What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back in Planet Coaster in Time City and a very awesome episode. So today we're going to be working pretty much only on the Apocalypse section of the park. We're going to be making some backstage areas and be working on some other stuff in general. I wanted to make a backstage area in the back of the park, and I haven't had as many backstage areas in the park as much as I've wanted. So we're going to create a nice big backstage area back here in the backside of the Apocalypse section, and it's going to be really cool. We're going to be working on a lot of custom supporting for the wooden coaster as well at the same time, and just a lot of stuff in general. So mostly having to do with the GCI, and we also got a name and theme to go with the GCI as well. After we finished this episode, we actually worked on a lot of audio theming and everything like that, which you won't be able to get in this time lapse as of right now, but it turned out really, really cool. We created some station announcements and everything like that, which actually turned out very, very awesome. I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. We also create the entrance sign for this project as well for the GCI wooden coaster. So the custom supports actually are turning out quite nicely as well. I'm actually very pleased of how those are turning out. In this backstage area, we don't finish it, we just get a basic idea of what it's going to be. So basically it's going to be this big warehouse where they can get receive shipments, and for like the coasters and everything can get all their parts that they need and everything like that. And it's also going to be a storage area where they can store a lot of parts and stuff just in general for the park areas in general. And these big warehouses, there's not much to them. They're very, very empty, and they don't have many in fact, they don't really have any windows at all, and very, very few doors as well. You just have like these big doors, and there's going to be lots of trucks and different cars and everything. I also have a little bit of employee parking in this area as well, and the area is just starting to come together, over here by the GCI coaster, which in the end we do end up naming it Salvaged, and I actually got that name idea from Guard Geek from the Twitch stream. So he was in the stream, and he gave me that suggestion, and I made a theme kind of around it as well. So it turned out very, very cool, and I'm very excited. I want to thank Guard Geek for that, just the name in general, and coming up with that. It was actually a really, really cool name, and I'm glad we came up with it. So the entrance sign actually, which you'll see here very shortly, I actually made custom by myself, and I was very proud of it because I can't usually make custom signs with letters by myself very well usually on my own, and I was actually very, very happy how that turned out. So that's interesting. And again, we have some storage stuff, and I want to actually again come back to this and add more onto it. So again, if you want to watch these episodes live, be sure to join us on Twitch, and links in the description to go follow that Twitch channel to be notified when we go live. So we go live pretty much almost every night, and you don't want to miss out on them because we have a lot of fun, and you can actually see a lot of behind the scenes. You can actually get POVs, see the POVs of some of these coasters, because I actually do ride them sometimes within the stream, but I don't show them off at YouTube. So if you want some behind the scenes stuff, be sure to watch these episodes live. It's a lot of fun. So anyways, as you can see, we're just doing a lot of storage stuff with a lot of different items. So I have like fences, wooden pieces, wooden fences, and a lot of like signs for shops and stuff like that, and some barrels, just some things here and there that just you'd see maybe a park in general would use for like replacement parts for different sections. So if a piece goes bad, they can replace it or something like that. They have spares to replace that item with, which is really, really nice. So you're gonna excuse me, also see some trash cans and everything like that, which will look really, really nice. And to do that, I had to actually place some pathways down in this area to make that actually work out, and it actually did work out. So I had to get the terrain up so the curbs don't come up. I hate that you can't get rid of the curbs on elevated paths. I hope that's something they get rid of eventually, maybe someday. But as of right now, we have to live with it and work around it as best as we can. So, excuse me. Anyways, I wanted to make this area make as much sense as possible. We're gonna have a service road, and I probably will have a road that leads out of the park, like away from the area, like actually leave the area. Like it's actually a service road that enters the back of the park. Which will be cool. So you're going to see a lot of service roads in the park and different things like that will actually make a lot of sense, and a little bit of employee parking for maybe some like maintenance personnel or something like that, so that actually work in the warehouse and stuff like that. So I had a couple of cars parked in the back here, and we'll make a really cool environment around it as well that will kind of finish it out excuse me, at the same time. So anyways, our goal is to really, again, I can't say it enough, is to really develop the apocalypse section a little bit better so we can move on to the next section. So it's going to take quite some time still, and quite a few episodes probably. In fact, this is actually one of the longest episodes of Time City, I think, if not the longest, that I've had. I recorded for about 2 hours and 45 minutes or something like that. I actually cleared a lot of space on my PC and was able to create a little bit of a longer episode for you guys. So that's why this episode is actually so long, is because I had a lot of confidence, inspiration, and everything going into it. So it was just good. Like it was definitely a good stream, and I was very excited, got excited about a lot of things, and as you'll see, we go a lot back and forth into custom supporting the wood coaster, and I even did a little bit off screen as well, so I'm trying to keep that progressing at the same time while we get other things done as well. And it all will turn out fantastic in the end, hopefully, and that's the goal, and I'm very excited on the final product. I think it will actually look really good. If you zoom out, and you can see this area is really starting to come along and come together and really starting to get more into a completed state, and that's really what we're going for in the next couple episodes, is really starting to get more areas closer to that completed status and everything. So there's still a lot to do, and again, we still have a lot in the Jurassic section to take care of, a lot in the entrance area to take care of as well. Like there's still lots to do, just in general for the entire park, and I can't believe we're already in the 30s for episodes right now. Like, oh my gosh, and we're not even halfway done with the park. That just kind of tells you probably that there's going to be a lot of episodes for this series, like a lot of episodes, and we're probably going to double the amount of episodes right now at this rate by a lot, and hopefully they start coming out a lot more sooner as well. We have the DLC coming out tomorrow. Hopefully I have this video up before then. We have the World's Fair pack, and we'll see if that benefits Time City as much. It may or may not, maybe a little bit. I mean, we get some more stalls that are actually coming in, which would be nice as well. Well, technically they'll probably have this video up by technically in the morning, because it's already late now, and I'd assume by the time it's uploaded it'll actually be the next day. So I guess the World Fire pack probably comes out the day of that I uploaded this. So anyways, regardless, it comes out on the 16th, so I might say that I posted this video on the 16th, and since it's so late, you probably aren't watching it till the 16th at least. So anyways, we're going to be streaming the World's Fair pack a lot as well, to see what's all new in there. So again, go follow me on Twitch to get and see all that information. I might even make a video on it as well, just to kind of see what's all in it, and see what I think I like and don't like, which most of it will probably be like, because I already see some stuff, because some of the other creators got some early access to it, and it actually looks fantastic, and I can't wait to get my hands on it as well. So hopefully in some way, shape, or form, it can actually benefit Time City in a way as well. So the theming of this ride is actually going to be really, really cool. I'm very excited for it. So the name of it, again, is Salvaged, and pretty much it is going to be a supply run kind of theme. So you're going on a supply run to get as much supplies as you can, and of course, you have to watch out for the diseased, and it's going to be a dangerous adventure, pretty much. And after the stream ended, after the episode ended, we continued to stream and actually recorded a couple of custom audio for the station announcement, and it actually turned out really good. We got some custom music for the queue line as well, which also really, really nice. And I actually figured out how to trigger trigger speakers without it glitching out, because I had to use display speakers instead of triggered speakers to make it work properly, because I had to use a display sequencer with display speakers to actually get it to work. And I'm glad I figured that out as well. I had some help, of course, from you guys in the chat as well. I think it was Llama Bomb that actually provided me a link to a forum and actually helped me figure that out. I actually figured out a lot of new stuff trigger-wise, and I'm actually really happy that I got to figure a lot of that out. It's actually really nice to know all this trigger stuff, especially for heavily themed rides. You're going to be using a lot of triggers, and I mean a lot of triggers just in general, because it's really, really neat. So we built this little sign right here. I'm going to have a lot of custom signage within the park as well, so I'm placing a lot of blank signs, and this will probably be some cheesy advertisements or something that looks like it's been destroyed or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure that out once I get into Photoshop and actually make each specific individual signs for the park. My plan is, when I do eventually get this on the Steam Workshop, when it is complete, I'm definitely going to try and get those uploads for the audio and billboards and stuff, so you have all of those available to you when you open the park. So make sure you download those when it is on the Steam Workshop. That's going to be, of course, way down the line, but that will be the idea of it. And I really like creating custom announcements and custom audio for the park. It really makes the park kind of separate from the Planet Coaster feel. Like, it actually gives it its own kind of feel a little bit, and that's what I was kind of going for, and hopefully that stays in there and continues. So yeah, and the lighting is actually turning out pretty well in this area as well, and we still have a lot of lighting to do. I did a lot of lighting actually afterwards around the ride and everything, so you'll see that maybe by the next episode or something, I'm not sure, but everything is turning out really, really cool, and I'm very excited for when it turns out. So we get a fence going around right here, which will actually keep people out of this section of the area. So that concrete slab out there is actually going to be again for the entrance sign, which we will start on very, very shortly in the time lapse. Again, we recorded over 2 hours and 40 minutes of footage on this, which is quite a bit, and recording it in 4K made it a very large file, but I still had over 100 gigabytes still left, so because I cleared a lot of space on my computer, and with my SSD card, SSD, which is like solid state drive, which is only has 500 gigabytes on it, so, and that's where I'm saving a lot of my stuff. I need to get a hard drive, a really big hard drive, just to save my park file or my video files and stuff, because these video files are getting very huge just from recording in 4K. Recording in 4K takes up so much space, but I love the quality of it, recording the game in 4K, and it just looks so good. And as you can see here, I kind of messed around with a lot of different options, because I'm trying to spell out salvaged, and we come to a really good conclusion, and it concludes very, very well. I'm very happy with how this sign ends up turning out, but it did take me some time to kind of get it in there and figure it out a little bit. So the G was especially probably the hardest one to actually make, but everything else turned out quite nicely, and I wanted to make the sign kind of damaged looking and kind of, and then post-apocalypse kind of style to it, of course, and so it was okay if I messed up in a sense in some spots, because it's not meant to look beautiful and perfect. It's meant to look very, very interesting and kind of have its own theming aspect to it. So, and it actually ended up fitting very, very well across on the concrete slab and everything, and I was very, very proud of that. And I made the words and everything, or the letters, and I actually copied it and created like a little bit of an outline, which actually added a lot more to it. It's something else I kind of added for theming, which you'll see after I get around to it, is I actually deleted a couple random pieces to make it look like it was some random pieces were missing, and just did a couple touch-ups, and it actually turned out really good, really cool, and I'm very happy of how it turned out. Like I said, the G kind of turned out a little weird, but that's all right. At least, is there, and yeah, it's there. It was probably the worst looking letter that I had in this, but overall, I can't complain of how it turned out. As you can see, this is where I kind of deleted some random pieces and then decided to copy it a little bit and actually make a outline to my liking, and it actually turned out cool. And I was wondering if I was going to have a background to it or without the background, and I really, really liked it without the background and just the words itself, or just not the words, the letters themselves. It actually looked really, really cool, and I was very proud of how it turned out. That black and red kind of color and feel to it. It looked really, really nice. So yeah, and this was really kind of difficult because I had to create some of the connectors here to try and figure out how, you had to have, since it's floating letters, I actually had to create some interesting supports to actually keep them together and make it look like it is not floating. So so I was a little nervous of how the background would kind of work with it, because it's going to have all these supports kind of supporting the letters together, and it actually turned out quite nice, and I think it turned out good. Later on, after the episode was recorded, I actually added some mist and some lighting to it, and I think it turned out really good. So you'll have to see that later on, and hopefully you'll agree with me of how good it actually turned out. So along with this sign, I actually made an entrance sign over the actual queue line entrance. I was waiting on that until I got a name for it, and I just used one of the basic signs for over there, and it turned out really, really nice, the way it worked. So yeah. So this sign kind of just fits the theming really, really well. It's kind of like rusty and works very well. And I wanted to put in different signs that, that point to the entrance and actually work very, very, very nicely. So those are kind of the main points that I think that we get done within this episode. We, again, worked on the custom supports, did some backstage areas, worked really well, and we actually get one more, we get a service road that leads up to that backstage area, and we create a fence that actually connects to that. So it's actually a dead end for the guests, but it's a gateway for if they need to get vehicles through the park and everything like that, and it works really well. So again, we come back a little bit with some more custom supporting to the GCI. Turns out really cool. I added just a little sign in here for the gift shop, which we need to go in, and we'll hopefully be adding some more gifts to the gift shop, so if that makes any sense. So we have this little service road that actually connects to the maintenance area, backstage area, and we needed to create a fence, which was a pain in the butt because I kept messing it up because of the darn aligned to surface thing, and everything was kind of tilted and messed up, and it took me a couple of tries before I actually got this correct and working properly. But we got it in the end, and I was very excited and happy of how that turned out finally, because it took so many tries for some reason. I don't know why it took so many tries, but it messed me up. But this is the last thing we get done in this episode. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Again, make sure you go follow me on Twitch if you haven't already to watch these episodes live. And that's about all I got in this episode. So make sure you guys have a great day. Even cooler tomorrow, and we'll catch you guys next time. Make sure, again, you like, comment, subscribe, and I'd like to hear you guys in the comments what you think of Time City so far, and if you have any good suggestions of what we could add to the park later in the future, because there's still stuff to add, and you never know. So anyways, again, thanks, have a great day, cooler tomorrow once again, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks and goodbye.